Hey, my name's Jake Nicholson. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is this week's property news. The budget obviously took centre stage this week. So much happened in the budget that's related to property. And a lot of it wasn't as bad as we were expecting. You see, we had weeks of leaks prior to the budget, and some of those things were left out. And that maybe made people feel that the budget wasn't as bad as it could be. But when you look at it and reflect on it, it was a particularly bad budget for landlords. So in this video, we're going to talk about the budget. We're also going to talk about other things that happened this week, because there was a lot. We've got lenders cutting buy-to-let rates to 2.49%. That's good. We've got the government update on how you can have pets, how you can reject pets. That's important to understand as well, and much, much more. So before we jump into this, if you're new around here and you haven't done already, do subscribe to the channel over there and hit that bell notification. We've just hit 51,000 subscribers, and by subscribing, you'll get all the latest house price news, interest rate news, property investing tips, and much, much more. And let's get some views on this video. Your part in that is very simple. All you need to do is smash like, tickle like, do something to that like button. That helps with the YouTube algorithm, and that really does help the channel grow. So, what a week. A very, very busy week. The budget was obviously centre stage, and that took a lot. But what else happened this week first? Well, we had a good rate cut from Mortgage Works. And this is a buy-to-let rate, and it's a very attractive rate. It's 2.49%. Now, it does have a 2% fee, making it pretty much 4.49%, but that's still good on a buy-to-let, and it's on a 1-year fixed rate. So by doing that, you're going to keep your monthly payments low, and this kind of deal is good for those people that believe that rates are going to come down. And the markets actually believe that. The fact is that the markets are expecting by 90% certainty that the Bank of England will now cut interest rates in December based off what we saw in the budget. So that could be an option if you want to take a deal on a short period of time and wait out till rates ultimately drop later in the year. So that's a positive. Next, this isn't good news, and it's about evictions. And so tenants and Section 21s are going crazy at the moment. You see, the Renters' Right Act passed earlier this month. And so because of that, a lot of landlords now know when they're not going to be able to use Section 21s anymore. And we've got a date on that, which is May the 1st. So landlords can put Section 21 notices in up until May the 1st. And they're doing that in droves. In fact, just in the last few weeks, they are up 61%. Now, I spoke to my letting agent in Hastings. I just had a call with him just now, actually, about a gas safe. Last time I spoke to them was about 6 weeks ago, and that was before the Renters' Right Act had passed. And he said to me that he's never seen so many Section 21 notices, and that was prior to this. So this is happening since then. So I think when we get all the data in January and February, once we see how many people did get evicted, I think it's going to be a terrifying number. And I think what you're going to see is that this government policy of beating landlords and making them want to quit effectively is going to backfire. You're going to shrink the rental market by huge amounts, but it could be positive for the landlords that stay in the market as well, because they will obviously benefit from increased rents. Rents are going to go up because of this. So evictions have gone up massively, and that's something that we'll keep an eye on and let you know. Pets. So the government put out their document on how it works with pets, what you can do, what you can't do, and the process. So we've made a more detailed video on that. All of these pieces of content, they have an individual video, very easy to find, where it says Property Accelerator down here. You click on that, then you click on videos. Look in the last week, you'll find the longer video on that. But in a nutshell, the tenant has to put in writing to the landlord. It can't be on a text message. It can't be on a phone call, a request for a pet. The landlord then has 28 days to consider that, and the landlord must respond in writing too. That's important, because if it doesn't happen, you could have a problem. Now, if your landlord doesn't respond for any reason, then at that stage, the tenant can take you to court, and they're probably going to win. And that's a very important thing to make sure that that doesn't cause you problems. So what also you've got to consider here is that they've given the reasons why landlords can say no. So it can be that someone in the property has allergies. It can be that the lease forbids it. So if it's a leasehold property, often that will forbid it. Or it can be that the pet size is unsuitable for the type of property. So if you've got a massive, great big Great Dane, that's not going to be very suitable for a studio flat. So these things will be considered, and it has to be in writing, all of it. So if you're a landlord and you want to know more about that, go and check out that video. I think that's important. House prices. The ONS went this week, Office of National Statistics, and they gave us an update on house prices, and this is the official data. This means that it includes cash prices, auction prices, stuff through estate agents, all of the data. It has a lag, so this is the September data, but it was down 0.6% in a month in September. That's a lot. That's a big drop. So 0.6% in 1 month is a big drop in house prices. So we need to keep an eye on that and see how that plays out going forward. But yeah, not great news there. Before we jump into the to the budget stuff, I just want to give you a quick reminder. As it is Black Friday, do go and check out our Black Friday offer. It's called the Property Accelerator. And now you need to know how to invest in property the right way. I'm talking setting up a company. I'm talking only buying property that you can add value to. Avoid this new build stuff. That's very difficult to make money on. I'm talking about buying at auctions, and then talking about how to refurb the property, buy, refurbish, refinance, rent. We've got a course on that in there. Then you need to cash flow that property, and that could be with serviced accommodation, high cash flow, could be with HMOs, high cash flow as well. We've got all of these courses in there, and it's reduced to £169 at the moment. Look, you're not going to find out all about it in this video. There's a lot to check out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the description and in the first comment. So while you're here now, click on the link, open it up, watch the rest of this video, and then when the video finishes, go and check it out and grab that before that Black Friday deal ends. So hopefully we'll see you inside that. Next, budget. The budget had some good and some bad, didn't it? So we had all this talk for weeks prior. Is stamp duty going to be abolished, or is it not? The Guardian and the Times, to be fair, we shared a video with you the day before the budget where they said it's not going to be included. Stamp duty isn't going to be included in the budget, and it wasn't. So that wasn't in there. Another fear was that you would get national insurance on rent. That would have pushed up rents massively. Could be as much as 10% increases straight off the bat on that. That didn't happen. We had the mansion tax threat. That did happen. So the mansion tax is that properties over £2 million will get an additional tax on top of their existing council tax. And that can be between £4,500 and £7,500. They've worked out that the average most people will pay on properties above £2 million is £4,500. So that's quite a big shock to a lot of people. 400 quid a month that they've got to now find extra on top of their council tax. I think the media was pretty happy with that, and I think the public is happy with that. But where I see this being a problem is I see this being a future stealth tax. You see, house prices are going to go up, so more people are going to go into that level as time goes on. But I also believe that they will drop that from £2 million to £1.5 million, then to £1 million, and then a lot more people will go into that level. And you might have a property now that in the future you might want to retire, and suddenly you've got this extra burden of 400 or 500 quid extra per month. So the mansion tax was revealed, and that's how it was. It wasn't as bad as what they first spoke about, which could have been 40 grand on a £6 million house. So they capped it out at £7,500. What else was there? The worst thing, I think, was for the 2% tax on rent. So landlords are going to pay an extra 2% tax on rent. Those that have it in a limited company are going to pay 2% extra to take out their dividends. So that will get passed on. Already the MPs are saying that's going to increase rents by 2% straight away, which is true. And so this tax is just going to be a tax on renters. Not smart, and I don't think that's the best thing and what they really want to achieve. But you've got the renters' right tax, you've got the new tax as well. So next year, I think you're going to see double-digit rental increases. We'll see how that pans out as the year goes on. Let me know what you think about the budget. Let me know what you think about all of these things that happened. The one that frustrated me a little bit as well is the EV tax. I've got to pay 3 pence a mile to drive my Tesla now when my partner doesn't. A lot of you will say, well, yes, she pays fuel duty on the petrol that she buys. True, that is true. But I've also got to pay when I drive to France and back. That's not great. So that's a little annoying, but it's not going to break the bank. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do check out that Black Friday offer before that offer goes over the weekend. And check out all the other content as well on the channel, including this video right here.